Let's move on and invite let's invite the management of Endurance Tech on the show. Now, the stock has done pretty well this year, up nearly 30% in 2024. In the last 1 year, the stock has gained more than 50%. The management is focusing on high-performance braking systems for the 350cc plus premium bikes, and margins in four-wheeler business are higher than the two-wheelers. To discuss this and a lot more, we have R.S. Gopal Sastry, the Group CFO of Endurance Technology. Thank you very much for joining in. I think, Mr. Sastry, you were appointed as the Group CFO effective 6th of June 2024. So you've been, now handling things for the last 2 or 3 months. So what is your own goal, for the next 3 years? If you have to look at the business change, the product mix, the margins, tell us what is your own aspiration or goal that you've set for yourself?
So, good morning again, and thanks for this opportunity. Personal goals, if you look at having moved from a sector which was very successful, a company which was very successful, and then the first few months I've been looking at this company, and I had a good run in terms of how I could take over my new role. I'm only looking at the strength of the company as of now. So the quality of investments, the kind of people the company has, the care with which the product offerings have been developed, the assets which are of top quality in terms of their locational strength, and also the quality of the machines or the shop floors, the best-in-class governance principles, the professional management, all these things are already there. They have been put in place. Now, if you look at my personal goal, I think that I need to quickly take this company towards that inflection point where we start using or exploiting the significant headroom in the businesses the company already is in. So if you look at the product offerings, like you said, high quality braking systems for 350cc, right from the castings, the suspensions, the braking systems and various other offerings are of very high quality, and they are with the aim of making the vehicle better, making the road safer. And in those areas with all the customers in India, there is a lot of headroom to make inroads into those models in which we are not currently present, and use that as an inflection point to grow the top line. And from the bottom line perspective, I'm again saying that there are significant opportunities to bring in operational efficiencies just by looking at the data, analyzing data, strengthening the team from a controlling perspective. And we are looking at proactively giving ourselves targets that we make the bottom line better. And cash is the next element, that we need to have significantly high levels of cash, and so that we are able to invest and make use of those opportunities as and when they appear in the market, in organic and inorganic. So my goals are threefold: help the company get to that inflection point, the top line growth, look at operational efficiencies with better data management, better team managements, so that we're looking at profitability, and improve on cash so that we are ready for the company as we go on the growth path.
All right. Hi, Mr. Sastry. Good morning. Nigel on this side, and congratulations in your new role. We wish you all the best, and we look forward to interacting with you more often. Since you mentioned that the focus is also on growing the top line, last 3 years you have been growing in the mid-teens. How do you see growth shape up from year on? And do you think there are enough levers in place to push up the margins? Maybe you're looking at 100, 150 basis points improvement in margins. If you would give us the next 3-year goal.
So if you look at the company per se, we have a stated objective that we grow in multiple areas. So one is what we do as business as usual. Today, if we have our casting business, we added the forging business, the braking systems which we make, the suspensions. This is business as usual. This in itself presents an organic opportunity as the two-wheeler industry grows. Plus the ability to grow more into the supply chain, more in terms of our shares of business with each customer, it already offers a significant growth opportunity. The other opportunity is that as the vehicles are being offered in the Indian market, there is a tendency to make them premium, both in terms of better safety, which means automatically our braking systems, which is the ABS, or have better suspensions and feel to the customer, the feeling of how the driver feels. Then that means our inverted front forks and other electronically controlled suspensions, and then better quality castings and forgings. That in itself offers an opportunity to grow our top line. And the other element in our stated objective is that we need to grow, or we are planning to grow our presence in India in the four-wheeler business. Today, if you look at, we are in the range of 4 to 6%.
Yeah, Mr. Sastry, let's get a little bit more into those numbers then. You know, the four-wheeler segment, as you said, I think on a consolidated basis, it's mid-20s. In India, it is far lower. So from that 25%, I believe as a percentage of consolidated, you want to take it to 45%. And even aftermarket, I think it's around 5%. You want to double that. So run us through a couple of numbers with the objectives on both these two parameters.
Okay, you want to look at how the numbers pan out, or how we actually are planning to grow in those regions?
On both these two segments, sir. And what is the vision? You know, the aftermarket is 5%. You want to double that. Four-wheeler is around 25%. You want to take that to 45% on a consolidated basis. So the roadmap for both these two.
The roadmap is that one would come from the organic growth in Europe. Europe is 100% four-wheelers today, with a very small percent which goes into two-wheeler. So we are looking at organic and inorganic growth within the European market, which automatically will bring some growth. And within India, we are making specific investments in some regions, making plans which are earmarked for the four-wheeler business, both in the domestic and the exports. To begin with, we will be offering our staple product, which we are experts in, which is the forgings and the castings. And in due course, we will be looking at offering also suspension braking systems in the four-wheel market, as and when we are successful in identifying the partners with whom we go with. So we have in-house skills in these regions. So if you look at the current four-wheeler business within India, is a very small number, and we are looking at to grow at least, if we have to get to the 40% or 45% as an overall, from the 25% which comes from the European business, we need to look at another 20% coming from the Indian business. So that's how we are looking at how do we have dedicated plans, which we already are in the process of commissioning for some parts of the business, at least in the casting area. And in other areas, we are looking at partners to bring in business in the four-wheeler region. And if you look at aftermarket is it's a strategy of reach. It's more how do we understand the B2C side of the business while we still continue to be a B2B. So we are looking at innovative ways of how do we improve the reach within India. Yeah. You have a question?
Right. We take those points, Mr. Sastry. Hi, good morning. Prashant here. Just very specific, sir, from Europe. What have been the order wins in Q2 so far? If you can give us a rough idea.
So as of now, we have not consolidated that number of the order wins within Europe. But if you know, we have been getting a lot of order wins in the past 1 year or so, and we are now looking at those peaking in terms of supplies.
Okay, because I mean that pipeline in terms of new order wins was drying up very fast. That's why I'm asking in Q1 as well. We'd seen if you look at FY23-24, then you look at the Q1 of 25, sharp slowdown there. So I'm just trying to understand, are things looking a little better, or is this going to be, what should we look at, if you can provide us with some numbers?
So if we have to look at numbers per se, the order wins and orders which have been happening in the past 1 year or so were in the electric vehicle segment. And a lot of OEMs within Europe, and that's common news, that they are going slow on their electric vehicle offering. And they're going back to increasing the volumes and trying to continue with the ICE offering which they have. And our order wins were in the electric vehicles and also in the conventional. We already had existing orders in the ICE vehicles. So from a sales perspective, we are continuing to service the ICE models, which we already were offering. And some of the volumes which are the electric are also happening. But based on the discussions with the teams in Europe, we are seeing the chances of revival in the upcoming months in November or so. But our focus was on the internal strengths, keep our cash position positive, keep our investments in good health, so that whenever this turnaround will happen in Europe, we're able to capitalize on that and get more volumes. But as of now, we are still seeing that compared to all other tier 1s, tier 2s in Europe, we are seeing good traction in our sales. At least in a couple of months, which we saw just go by, we have been better than the market in terms of sales. We are doing better numbers than on a year-on-year basis. And that's because of the order strength which we already had acquired. And we are looking at some development or improvement in the coming months.
All right, Mr. Sastry, you know, the buzzword is EV. So could you tell us first, what is the current order book? You know, if you could give us an updated number, point number one. Point number two is, as a percentage of your total mix, how much does EV contribute and where is that number headed? You know, if you could give us an outlook, say, for the next 3-5 years. Our order book, EV contribution, and where is the EV contribution headed?
Okay, if you want to break it into different businesses which we already have in our control, in India, our EV order book is in size of 840 crores of endurance technologies. And our subsidiary Maxwell has got an order book of 420 crores. And our European companies have got an order book of 287 million euros. All these are orders which we already have won and which are expected to peak in terms of sales in the upcoming years. So like Europe would peak in the year 27, 28, and India would peak in the year 27, and Maxwell also would peak in the year 27.
All right, Mr. Sastry, we'll leave it there. Good luck to you and your team as you execute on the threefold strategy, as you said. Top line inflection, there is operational efficiency and improving cash position at the company. Thank you, and we wish you all the success. We'll